Welcome back to Shropshire Business Live TV, our festive special here from the Yarrington Studios in Shrewsbury. Delighted to welcome our next studio guest who's dropped in to see us, Marcus Matthews from Make Your Life Count. Now, at this time of year, Marcus, you know, people sometimes put on a really brave front, but you never know what's going on underneath the surface. Some people find Christmas easy, some find Christmas really hard. Yeah. And your business is involved very much in sort of getting under the skin of what's really going on in people's heads a little bit, isn't it? Just explain what you do.
Yeah, I do something quite unique. So if you imagine fusing therapy and coaching together, so see it as like a Venn diagram, that's where I work. So I'm a life transformation coach and clinical hypnotherapist, and I help people find the root cause to why they feel the way they do. Because most interventions out there are around logical things. So you know certain things, so you have beliefs and you have stories that you tell yourself that create feelings. Well, if that was the truth, you'd probably figure it out, right? So I kind of answer the question, why do I feel the way that I do? Because logically, life shouldn't be like this.
And is Christmas, or maybe it's more the aftermath of Christmas, I guess, from your point of view, when people are reevaluating their lives, is that quite a busy time, or a fertile time from your point of view, when people are thinking about this kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, I think it always makes me chuckle, because at this time of year, you're waiting for people on the 1st of January to set their New Year's resolutions that you know that they will never stick to. And that's one of the reasons that I asked that, why did they do that? And it's really interesting, was at the AGM, the Chamber AGM recently, and somebody was asking me why I did, and they were asking me questions, and I just kept asking, why? And they got to the point when they went, I don't know why. I went, that's what I do. I help you answer that question.
Sounds like you could have been a journalist as well, in another life. But how much of your work is in Shropshire then?
Very little, which is quite sad, because I'm very passionate about local. So for me, as a business owner, I want to be investing in other Shropshire businesses. I'm really passionate about the Shropshire Pound and Shropshire PLC. The majority of my clients are probably Birmingham, London, New York, LA even. So I would probably say 80% is within the UK, and then I would say the rest of it is major cities and places like London, Manchester, Birmingham.
And I'm guessing there's no such thing as a typical kind of client from your point of view, is there?
You know, most people only have 3 problems. I'm not good enough, I'm different, and that's not available to me. And those 3 things are normally the driving behaviours. And then they normally have what I call the 4 thieves of happiness, which is judgment of themselves or others, shame, guilt, and validation. And we get wrapped up in this ego of trying to prove ourselves, and we can't walk what I call the path of authenticity, where we can be our true selves. And in an ever-connected world, we're probably more disconnected than ever.
And at a time like this, at Christmas, that's a time sometimes when you are being almost challenged to do what people expect you to do, isn't it? And that's one of the big issues, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what can cause people so much stress. I mean, I'm not a great advocate of the word mental health. I prefer mental fitness, because mental health, like anxiety, has become like you Google something or you Uber it. You know, it doesn't mean anything anymore to people. So I'm all about empowering people to understand why they feel the way they do, because your body and your mind is there to protect you, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So when people think about anxiety, when they think about imposter syndrome, is a great one, right? Is that those reactions that we get in our body is just our body trying to communicate, but it doesn't understand language. So what I help clients do is to find the root cause of why the body is acting in the way that it is, and give it a voice, really, so they can release that feeling. Because 95% of all behaviours are driven by emotion, right? You don't think anxious, you feel anxious. So once we can get rid of the feeling, then the story now has no power.
There was a survey a couple of months ago that I read which shocked me, saying something like, was it 75% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives, which is surprised me. But then when I thought about it, actually, it's only acknowledging to yourself that it's happening to you, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, from my own personal journey, I would never have thought that my mental health was in a bad way. And it's quite funny when you go to networking events and people have got to do their 60 seconds.
Yes.
People get worried
Some
about
people
it.
don't sleep the night before.
I know this is my point.
It's crazy.
Right? So,
Yeah.
but that is a form of anxiety. It is
Yeah.
a form of poor mental health. But we tend to define mental health as I've now crashed, burned, and now I'm being seen by the world. So I'm all about preventing that and empowering people to understand their thoughts, their feelings, and how they can move through that very, very quickly and easily.
And I guess the nature of what you do means that client confidentiality is important to a lot of the people, so you can't name drop people. But I know you did work with Kerry Katona. Was it early this year? That was
No,
the year
actually,
before,
no. It was about 12 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2023 has just flown
It's all
by.
flown by.
Whizzed
so-
by, yeah.
Kerry was probably one of the easiest clients I've ever worked with. And the funny story, actually, when I worked with her, I went to her house. I did say, do you want me to sign an NDA? Because obviously I know there's been lots of things in the press. She said, no, it's fine. And I said, okay, we're working with Kerry today. No going on Instagram, no putting it all out there. Anyway, we did the session, went to her kitchen, and she was straight on Instagram. And it was so funny because I'd got very few followers, and then within 24 hours, I'd gone
Yeah,
over
quite a few.
5,000
Right.
followers. That the statistics were so funny. So she's been a great advocate of of supporting what I do, and I've worked with other celebrities and kind of athletes and people like that. But again, it's client confidentiality, so you can't say who it is. That's always a challenge when you're running a business. you know.
What's the plan for the business? If we're to be sitting here, say this time next year, where would you hope to be? What would you hope to have achieved?
My real passion is that many years ago, I worked for Shropshire Council, and I worked on a project called Switch on Shropshire, which was all about getting broadband.
Broadband,
Yeah, I
remember that?
remember that one, yeah.
So I was one of the lead technicians. So I've got an IT background before I joined the police, and there are so many amazing, innovative, brilliant businesses in Shropshire. And so for me, I'd love to do more work with local businesses, big businesses, and keeping the Shropshire pound in Shropshire. If I can help a business leader to understand their staff, if I can help them reduce their sickness rate, then they're going to be better businesses. So if they're paying me to do that, their business grows, my business grows. I can then invest my money back in a Shropshire business. So everybody wins. So I'd love to be having a conversation in 12 months' time to say, I'm working with more Shropshire businesses. I'm helping them support their staff, their leaders, so we can build an abundant Shropshire.
And do these sessions that you do they have to be one-to-one, or would you do maybe sometimes is it a group sessions, or how does that work?
I primarily do work one-to-one, but I am very much open to doing more group work. I can do that. Interestingly, I'm at the moment, I'm going to be doing a retreat, but that's going to be in Pennsylvania in the USA.
I'm not sure we can fly over.
Yeah, we can fly over. So if anybody wants
we'll
to join,
Zoom you.
yeah.
Business
we'll Zoom you,
expenses.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'd love to do something like that. I'd love to do a retreat. So I'm really open to, serving my client base, the business of Shropshire, the people of Shropshire, in whatever way serves them, and having this opportunity to talk about what I do, hopefully will be a catalyst for people to find out more.
And what's Christmas got in store for you then? How do you have traditions? Do you put pressures on yourself at Christmas then, or not?
Do you know what? I try not to, and it's quite interesting that I think as you get older, you go, I don't really want it. I don't want anything.
Yep.
A nice glass of something, some nice food, spend some time with the family. I'm going up to my mum and dad's in Cheshire, so that's where I'm going to be spending Christmas, and then coming back and just chilling out is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try and
It
chill
is
out.
trying, isn't it? 'Cause we always end up getting carried away doing a bit of work.
Is that your New Year's resolution? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know.
I don't make New Year's
No.
resolutions.
I thought you might say that, to be fair. Well, look, I hope our paths cross again at some point in 2024, and you'll have
sure
to keep
I
us up to speed with what you're up to. It'd be great to see you. Thanks for coming
thank
in.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.